प्रीतात्मा परमात्मा च प्रेतात्मा प्रधानभृतो सर्वपार्श्वक्षो धर्मसाधारणो वरः चराचरात्मा सूक्ष्मात्मा अमृतो गोवृषेश्वरः.
You are listening to Radio D Hotties, powered by Mahima Creations.
Hi, this is Akshay Kumar, and you are listening to me on Radio D Hotties with Altu Baba and Paltu Rani, where entertainment keeps getting hotter.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this show do not necessarily reflect those of the staff or management of Radio D Hotties. The content broadcast on this show is meant for informational and entertainment purposes only.
जब हमारे परिवार के बुजुर्गों की सेहत और देखभाल की बात होती है तो घर पर इन होम केयर वाला ऑप्शन सबसे बढ़िया है. अनलॉक का पेस प्रोग्राम एक ऐसा कन्वीनियंट एंड पर्सनलाइज्ड ऑप्शन है जिसके जरिए हमारे बुजुर्ग घर पर हमारे साथ रहकर यही देखभाल और सेवा का लाभ उठा सकते हैं. अब चाहे वो घर पर रहे या अनलॉक वाले पेस सेंटर में आए, उनको वही डेडिकेटेड एंड प्रोफेशनल केयर मिलेगी. अनलॉक ने बुजुर्गों की सेहत को अपना प्रायोरिटी बना लिया है. और जानने के लिए 1855-308-0195 पे कॉल करें. That's 1855-308-0195.
Top of the morning, Bay, with Good Morning Bay.
Get to know about the traffic on your way and what's news around the world today.
Some wisdom skills along the way.
Oh, and a song to hum along with and sway.
Get your perfect entertaining start to the day.
At 9 a.m. every weekday morning with
Mahima's
Good Morning Bay.
Good morning, Bay. आप सभी लोग हमारी तरफ से एक प्यार भरा नमस्ते,
नमस्कार,
वनकम,
नमस्कार,
खुशामदीद,
अस्सलाम वालेकुम,
सत श्री अकाल,
मेघांतरिकी वंदनमु,
जय स्वामी नारायण,
जय श्री कृष्णा,
जय जनेंद्र.
हमारे इस्माइली भाई बंधुओं को बोल दे या अली मदद.
मौला अली मदद बोलते हुए सारे फीजिए मतलब बोलेंगे नीसा बुला बरजान. हम आ गए हैं आपके प्यारे महिमा के द्वारे. मैं सिर्फ आलतू बाबा
And of course, myself, Faltu Rani, लेकर आपके लिए एक और drive time that's gonna make another fantastic week totally magnificent and मस्तानी बन जाए.
True the Bhajan, of course. आपको बोलते कि आज Monday है, November 15th, and yes, you guys must be waiting and saying, oh my God, what's going to happen on the road? What's happening there, Altu Baba? Please let us know if you want to know. Well, but I'll tell you what, people actually are in the holiday mood already, I suppose. Faltu Rani, did you know that actually the road right now, the traffic is very light?
Oh. Really?
Yeah, traffic is very light. But let's go take a look at it right now, Bhajan. आपके लिए पेश है रास्ते का हाल. Total सस्ते में अभी आएगा आपको Bhajan. Just give me a few seconds.
And of course, जब तक रास्ते का हाल सस्ते में हमारा आलतू बाबा देगा, आप भी हमें आपका रास्ते का हाल बता सकते हो. You can call in to 408. Driving in any specific, I mean, you know, we air all over the world. So, जहाँ से भी आप update देना चाहते हो, you can always call us in. But we are broadcasting from San Francisco Bay Area, so we will give you the update as to what's going on our freeways right here.
It's time for the Bandu Traffic Update. Call us from wherever you are at 408-912-2479.
Bhai, I'll tell you what, Falwani. We have to start, the charity begins at home, they say, right? So we got to start with our driveway. हमारा parking lot भी खाली है बजट, बाकी जगह कोई नहीं आया.
नहीं, बाजू में आ गए हैं, 3-4 कार है.
कार आगे होंगे बनाए के nobody come urgent. And yes, right now if you look at Milpitas में थोड़ा बहुत traffic है, San Francisco, San Jose में थोड़ा traffic है बरजान, but not much of things reported in terms of accidents and everything. Now let's go further out. Let's go towards Palo Alto bridge. Palo Alto is actually residual delay on 101 southbound near the North Ringstraw ramp. No, there's no accident there, but just the congestion which happens that time, Bhajan, that's something which really is bothering traffic over there. Otherwise, nothing else. Now, speaking of incidents other than traffic accidents, there's a fog advisory on 580 eastbound and westbound between Palo Verde Road in Hayward and the North Livermore area in Livermore, Bhajan. So watch out for that for sure. Now, if you look at it, today is going to be a cloudy day. We don't have much sunlight right now, at least. Like, don't worry. By evening, we'll make sure we clear the sky. Tomorrow, we will guarantee you a sunny day. How about the Falwani?
Yeah.
I'm just going out of the limb and telling people that yes, you're going to have a sunny day, huh? डाल दिया बंजन, don't worry about, कर दिया हमने, हाँ?
Correct.
And अभी के लिए बंजन, let me tell you, you are actually listening to the Good Morning Bay right now, and that was a traffic update and weather update. But time for us to go take a look at what's the news we have for you, Fatwani. Are we ready with the news for our bandus?
Yes, Binajan. It's a good thing that we don't have traffic out here. It's probably because people heard about Papa Pig.
Oh wow, what is that?
Papa Pig was the pig that got, वो क्या कहते हैं, who blocked traffic in South Carolina
Oh wow.
for hours on end, apparently.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a road hog called Papa Pig, and he backed up traffic, and deputies, he kept the deputies there busy one night last week, where 2 hours a particular road was closed because of this large pig that was blocking the road and causing onlooker delays.
Well, Father, I don't know if you know this, but there are a few road hogs here also
Yeah,
who
well-
actually drive on 2 lanes at one time.
Oh man, I'm not talking about that. This is like an actual pig that actually got into the lanes, and he was refusing to. He took his time in moving. Let's put it that way. He was kind of possibly already a little traumatized as well. His owners had another problem to deal with, other than the fact that Papa Pig was actually in the was out of the car, and then they had to haul him back. What happened was he's so large supposedly that their trailer broke, so they had to make arrangements, and they had to make sure that that there is a proper and safe way to transport him, and the sheriff's deputies were supposed to keep him safe till they got the pig out of the county road, apparently. So I just wanted to share that. I thought it was really funny. And it seems they even made an announcement saying, while we have your attention, Papa Pig actually asks you to lock your cars tonight and bring your valuables inside, is what the account actually tweeted. Well, let's go on over and talk about something else, Banajan, which is really, really interesting, which we need to know. Over the weekend, I don't know how many of you actually follow politics, but over the weekend there was some random tweet that White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki put out, and then she deleted it apparently. Now, there was a lot of hullabaloo that was created with regard to what exactly was going on, but here it is. U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris apparently returned to Washington, D.C. after a 4-day visit to France to a devastating report on Sunday of her widening rift with the Biden White House, alarming Democrats still reeling from the loss of the bellwether election in Virginia. A report, apparently a 4,800-word, 12-minute account on CNN, which was epic length by TV news standards, was considered so damaging that White House immediately pushed back against it. Biden's spokesperson, Jen Psaki, tweeted, "For anyone who needs to hear it, Vice President is not only a vital partner to the President of the United States, but a bold leader who has taken on key important challenges facing the country, from voting rights to addressing root causes of migration to expanding broadband." The Vice President's aides also snapped back at the report, which media mavens said was surprising for a liberal outlet that is generally considered sympathetic to the Democrats, by characterizing it as gossip.
Well, the one more thing which I didn't like about the fact when she went to the summit, you know what all they talked about? Just because she was a lady.
What did they talk
The
about?
media talked about her credentials of representing America the right way. Talked about the fact that she's inexperienced. Why should they talk about all those things? This is not
Wow.
bad just because she's a lady. I'm really sorry. This is not only something with the media here. I think it's also something to do with our overall mentality to people who come to power, who are from I think the diaspora of colored people, right? It really was bad. They would not done it for somebody who was a different skin, right? Only for her. They said like, oh, she doesn't have experience. Oh yeah, she's too young.
Oh my God.
All those things were coming up in the media, and in international media, by the way, not just American media.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Anyway, it is unfortunate that after a productive trip to France, in which we reaffirmed our relationship with America's oldest ally and demonstrated US leadership on the world stage, and following passage of a historic bipartisan infrastructure bill that will create jobs and strengthen our communities, some in the media are focused on gossip not on the results that the president and the vice president have delivered, said Harris's press aide, Simone Sanders. The story, coming on the heels of several reports of dysfunction within the vice president's office, spoke of an exhausted stalemate between Biden and the Harris camps, despite cordial relations between the principals. But with many sources speaking on condition of anonymity to discuss the situation more frankly, they all tell roughly, apparently, the same story. Harris's staff has repeatedly failed her and left her exposed, and family members have often had an informal say within her office, is what they're saying. Even some who have been asked for advice lament Harris's overly cautious tendencies and staff problems, which have been a feature of every office that she has held from the time that she was San Francisco District Attorney to the U.S. Senate, this particular article said. It also spoke of racial and gender tensions in the ruling establishment, with some Harris aides reportedly claiming that Biden's aides left her out in the cold over public controversies while rushing to the defense of other top administration officials, notably mentioning Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg, who is gay, when he was mocked by conservatives for taking paternity leave for his newborn. Well, it is really, I think this is, Aldo is right, it's stemming from a gender stereotype and a gender bias, and to even report on these kinds of things is, sometimes I feel like there should be some journalistic integrity, right?
Yeah.
For people.
Agreed.
Anyway, Trump advisor Steve Bannon has surrendered to the FBI on the Capitol riot probe charges, flanked by black-clad bodyguards and and making ominous comments about President Joe Biden. Former President Donald Trump's longtime advisor Steve Bannon surrendered to the FBI on Monday on criminal charges arising from his defiance of a congressional inquiry into the deadly Jan 6 Capitol riot. "We are taking down the Biden regime," he told a throng of journalists as he arrived at an FBI field office at the U.S. Capitol, as a demonstrator standing behind him held up a sign that read, "Cool Plotter." And a federal grand jury on Friday indicted Bannon on one count of contempt of Congress for refusing to appear for a deposition before the U.S. House of Representatives Select Committee investigating the events surrounding the Jan 6th attack, and a second contempt count for refusing to produce documents. Bannon, the first person to face criminal charges in the congressional investigation, is expected to make his initial appearance in federal court later on Monday before Magistrate Judge Robin Merriweather. We're taking down the Biden administration. He says that even as he is being arrested for creating that whole unnecessary, that whole coup that happened at the Capitol. Unbelievable. Prosecution starts closing arguments in the trial of a U.S. teen, Kyle Rittenhouse, and the defense will follow with its final address to the jury and is expected to highlight the considerable evidence presented at the trial supporting Rittenhouse's argument that he was attacked before he fired his semi-automatic AR-15 rifle, killing 2 men and wounding a third. Defense lawyer in the Ahmaud Arbery trial has been trying to eject Reverend Jesse Jackson from court. What exactly is happening there? A lawyer for one of 3 white men charged in the murder of Ahmaud Arbery, a black man in their southern Georgia neighborhood, failed in an attempt to have the judge remove civil rights leader Reverend Jesse Jackson from the courtroom on Monday. The same lawyer, Kevin Goh, made a similarly unsuccessful attempt last week to get the court to prevent any more black pastors attending the trial after Reverend Al Sharpton, another civil rights leader, was seen sitting with Arbery's parents in the public gallery. After the jury was sent out, Goh stood and said he objected to what he called an icon in the civil rights movement sitting between Arbery's parents. How many pastors does the Arbery family have? He said, referring to a similar objection he had made to Sharpton's visit. The seats in the public gallery of a courtroom are not like the courtside seats of a Lakers game. And Go said the presence of civil rights leaders might influence jurors hearing the high-profile case. By the way, those of you who have been following the trial know that it's a 90% predominantly white jury that is convicting these people. U.S. Senator Patrick Leahy, who is probably the longest-serving Democratic U.S. Senator alive, will not seek re-election in November 2022, opening up another seat that the Democrats will need to aggressively defend if they are to maintain their razor-thin Senate majority. First elected in 1974, Leahy, who is 81 years old, serves as the chamber's President pro tem, a position that places him third in line to the U.S. presidency after Vice President Kamala Harris and U.S. House of Reps Speaker Nancy Pelosi. His retirement could open an opportunity for Democratic Representative Pete Welch to run for Senate. It is time to pass the torch to the next Vermonter who will carry on this work for this great state, Leahy said in making the retirement announcement from his home state. In local news, Manajan, one thing that's becoming evident if you're going out and eating out every single day, restaurant costs are going up. And you are also paying higher for your meals. While some restaurant costs are obvious, including beef, vegetables, and oil, one Oakland-born chef went viral with a post pointing out some costs many people might not think about. Chef Kwasi Moses said fryer oil went from $21 a year ago to $35 6 months ago, and now fryer oil is $45. A batch of takeout boxes that was only $25 a year ago is now $95. And apparently chicken wings, which was just $45 a case 12 months ago, is now $175 a case. So overall, they're saying that according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the producer price index for all foods saw the highest surge in 4 decades, nearly 13% between September 2020 and September 2021. So,
and it's not only chicken, even bacon has got expensive right now.
Yeah, every meats especially.
Now you know why the hog crossed the road. What?
Oh, whatever, man.
Hey, the road hog. The road hog crossed the road. You shared the news.
Yeah, I know. But that was in South Carolina.
That's it's part of America, right?
Okay, fine.
It's happening globally, by the way. In fact, I'll tell you what. One thing you've got to maintain right now is stop eating outside. Cook food at home.
Yeah.
That's the only message I can send you guys.
And go vegan, go vegetarian.
Yeah. Spare the turkey.
Yeah, spare the. Oh, that reminds me, Altaba, I gotta tell you this.
What? Is Biden going to kill the turkey?
No.
Hey, by the way, didn't Trump ever?
They're encouraging people to have a vegetarian Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Thinking about ditching the turkey, many people are thinking about it apparently. If you're hosting a small group concerned about the rising cost of groceries, just looking at an excuse not to roast a bird, there is an option apparently called tofurkey for kukurkey. What? There's like so many different options, and the main courses, they have there are different types of turkey that you can order. It's called fakurki or something like that.
Oh my God, what kind of names are these? Just have plain corn and something else. Cranberry, fine. Cranberry jam and cornbread. How about that? That's a good option, right?
Yeah.
And beans. Yeah.
Yeah, there's
proteins, you got beans.
And potato salad without the bacon. Otherwise.
Wait, why did you sound British when you said potato salad?
I didn't sound British.
You have a confused state of accent, I suppose.
Whatever. Okay. Anyway. Well, Manjan, that was pretty much the news from across the United States and also here locally. One thing though, in Los Gatos, thousands of people marched and rallied against hate. In Sunday in Los Gatos, 40 different groups helped organize a march through the streets of Los Gatos and a rally through Civic Center. A show of solidarity comes after several incidents this year that included disruptive town council meetings with protesters speaking out against the Black Lives Matter movement and the LGBTQ community. The Los Gatos community came together saying that they are standing together against hate, which is wonderful. We will have international news, but right after this.
We have a nice song for you guys, Banjana Ganya Kira, which you can enjoy. And yes, there's no rain outside, but hopefully it rains today. I want rain today, Banjan. And yes, there's a song picturized on Tiger Shroff and Shraddha Kapoor. looking at his first movie, I never thought he'd actually make more than one movie. Surprised us. One movie every year. A flop movie.
जुल्फों से बांध लिए बादल, सीने पे से उड़ने लगा आंचल, मुझसे नैना मिला के मौसम होने लगे पागल, सबसे होके बेफिक्र नाचूं मैं आज छम 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 मैं नाचूं आज छम 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 छम.
And of course, Banjan, you have the voice of Meat Brothers and also Monali Thakur, Banjan, along with the music of Amal Malik.
Let's start jumping, my heart goes pump, pumping. I love you in every way. धड़कनों पे बूंद जो गिरी.
तो नाचूं आज छम 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 छम.
Very good, very good. छम छम करती रहेगी बंजन हमारी ये श्रद्धा कपूर. लेकिन आप ना अभी सुनिएगा, आगे बढ़ेंगे हम लोग towards the world news. Faltani, what do we have as world news for today?
Well, the European Union agreed on Monday to step up sanctions against Belarus, which denounced as absurd Western accusations that it was driving a migrant crisis that has left thousands of people stranded in freezing forests on its borders with the EU. The Western Bloc is seeking to stop what it says is a policy by Belarus to push migrants towards it in revenge for earlier sanctions over a crackdown on the protests last year against veteran leader Alexander Lukashenko's contested re-election. The US journalist Danny Fenster said he's healthy and happy to be heading home after being freed from prison in Myanmar and flying to Qatar on Monday following negotiations between former US diplomat Bill Richardson and the ruling military junta. Fenster, 37, the managing editor of the independent online magazine Frontier Myanmar, looked frail upon arrival at Hamad International Airport in Doha, but has said that he has not been beaten while in captivity. I feel great and I'm really happy to be on my way home. I'm incredibly happy for everything Bill has done, he told reporters on the tarmac, referring to Richardson's intervention. NATO is warning Russia over a military buildup in Ukraine. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg warned Russia on Monday that the Western military alliance was standing by Ukraine amid a large and unusual concentration of Russian troops on Ukraine's border. Stressing that the important thing now was to prevent situations from spiraling out of control, Stoltenberg urged Russia to be transparent about military activities to reduce tensions and prevent an escalation. We have to be clear-eyed, we need to be realistic about the challenges we face, and what we see is a significant, large Russian military buildup, Stoltenberg told a news conference with Ukraine's Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba in Brussels. Speaking of what people need to be watching out for, well, US President Joe Biden is going to be telling Chinese leader Xi Jinping at a virtual meeting today, meant to reduce the chances of a superpower conflict, that China must, quote, play by the rules of the road, unquote, like a responsible nation, a senior US administration official has said. The video dialogue, initiated by Biden and expected by the United States to run for several hours on Monday evening, Washington time, will be about setting terms for future US-China competition, the official told reporters. Both sides hope that most extensive talks between the leaders since Biden became president in January will make the relationship less acrimonious. A bomb blast in the Afghan capital of Kabul has wounded 2 people this morning, the Taliban's interior ministry has said, just 2 days after a similar explosion that was claimed by the Islamic State militant group. Both devices were of a magnetic type attached to vehicles that have become common in Afghanistan, generally causing fewer casualties and less damage than suicide attacks, but used in targeted killings that undermine confidence in security. I was busy with a customer when a boom shook the store, said Ahmad Murtaza, a shopkeeper in Kabul's western area of Kotesangi. I saw people were taking victims from the blast site. I don't know whether they were dead or injured.
It's very sad, right, to hear these kind of news.
Yeah. They're saying, Interior Ministry spokesman Kari Saeed Khosti is saying that it was caused by a sticky bomb and it actually hurt 2 people, but they're not giving out more details. In the meanwhile, India on Monday decided to reopen the Kartarpur corridor and allow pilgrims to cross over into Pakistan ahead of Guru Purab, which marks the birth anniversary of Guru Nanak and will be celebrated on November 19th this year. The Kartarpur Sahib pilgrimage was suspended in March last year after the outbreak of COVID-19. The decision comes a day after a delegation of BJP leaders from Punjab met Prime Minister Narendra Modi and requested him to reopen the Kartarpur corridor before Gurpurab. Also, speaking of reopening corridors, Singapore will finally be reopening its doors for fully vaccinated travelers from India starting November 29 through a vaccinated travel lane. Travelers under VTL are not subject to stay home notice on arrival. Instead, they produce a negative pre-departure test taken within 2 days prior to departure and undergo an on-arrival PCR test, says the island nation's health ministry. Following discussions between Prime Ministers Narendra Modi and Lee Hsien Loong, Singapore will be launching this VTL for fully vaccinated travelers from India with valid entry approval starting November 29th. And Islamabad in the Pakistani government led by Imran Khan is struggling because since the Taliban's takeover of Afghanistan, Pakistan's offshoot of the hardline Islamist military group has ramped up attacks on its side of the border, leaving Islamabad scrambling to reach a peace deal. And of course, Bunijan, the famous actor Rajkumar Rao in India tied the knot with his long-time beloved Patra Lekha as of this past weekend. So all Bollywood celebrities are pouring in their congratulations. And for more on all that and more Bollywood stories, you need to tune in to Radio De Hotties on YouTube. And also follow the Pam Pam Show, which comes on at 5 this evening. That's all we have time for. We'll see you tonight, live at 5.
Raindrop bouncing, my heart is announcing, you got to take me away. Let's start jumping, my heart goes pumping, I love you in every way. Halkanon pe boond jo giri,
तो नाचो आज छम छम छम.
Hi guys, Wagah.
Really छम छम छम.
Hot.
नाचो आज छम 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 छम.